Want to do a SWAT story time and wrap this in with the right type of challenging and the right type of competition. And so this story involves me in doing something that could often be seen as inappropriate, but ended up working out okay. And I believe here are the dynamics of why after studying and reflecting on this scenario and others like it. One day, our SWAT team was training at the range as we often do. On a very slow year, the SWAT members may fire 6 to 8,000 rounds each to make sure that we have the absolute honed-in skills necessary in some pretty dynamic and high-speed drills. Well, during these drills, when we're sighting in, we're doing our optics and we're doing very tactical things, sometimes slow, methodical things, we often do competitions to push each other and simulate stress. The reason that you do competition is to invoke an internal biological response that heightens heart rate, gets focus, and a lot of biological systems change, and you need to overcome that. It's called stress inoculation. So putting yourself on a timer, putting yourself on a competition is a really good thing to do. And SWAT team members need to be competitively minded people. In doing this, we were doing a shooting competition, and it was speed and marksmanship. And it evolved into a competition where we were taking our M4 rifles, which shoots a 223 5.56 round, and we were taking just the shell casings and setting them up at about 20 to 25 yards away, and we were then coming on target and shooting down like bowling pins the shell casings and seeing who could do that the fastest. Well, I happened to be having a very good day that day, and I was able to set up multiple shell casings, and we started from various objects and then moved into shotgun shells and moved into the very own shell casing that the round comes from. And I was able to snap on target about 20, 25 yards and ting, 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 shoot down, just like the clowns or the bowling pins at the local fair, and knock them down really quickly. And other guys were doing a good job, but I just happened to be the primary winner that day. Two of my very good friends and very strong shooters, strong competitors, happened to be right next to me, just a couple stations down from the big open range that we're shooting at. I saw they were struggling, so with the arrogant moment in my mind, I went over and pow, pow, I turned and shot their targets down as well. So not only did I win so fast that I knocked down all three of my targets, but I went and knocked down all of the target competition as well. And so that made them all get, frazzled and flustered. Oh, you're just showing off. In the same time, it took us a minute to balance everything just right so that the targets were set. Now we got to go balance everything all over again because they wanted to achieve shooting those targets. So what happened is it originally caused some friction. It made me look, like I said earlier, arrogant or cocky to sit here and shoot somebody else's target when I'm having a good day. But on the same token, it gave them initiative to keep trying to keep shooting and hone in their marksmanship skills. So even though they were frustrated with me and mouthing off at the moment, and probably a little rightly so, the end result of this competition and this ability that they weren't measuring up for that day, they went and were personally motivated to then go hone their own skills. And they stayed late practicing that day and even challenging themselves on different, more difficult competitions so that their skills, even though highly attuned for the average shooter across the world, much higher level, they wanted to push themselves even further. So that made me realize that I needed to, as a trainer, oftentimes create specific moments of opportunity where one person could shine and one person could fail, but fail on a level that they move forward with their training. They move forward in their mindset, the fail forward concept. And so in doing this, we created competitions which would show weakness, show vulnerability in certain skill sets. That way you and others on the team knew where you needed to be developed. You would personally go do that, and your teammates, because we were good teammates, would encourage you and edify you and motivate you to go sharpen that skill as well. Same thing with push-up competitions. If you're the bottom of the barrel, last guy on the team doing the least number of push-ups, that should not last very long before you go home and do push-ups every morning, every night, and at least knock yourself out of last place and hopefully achieve for the top. There's a different version of competition that can happen as well, as you can put people in competition emotionally, and if you attach too much emotion to your competitions, you can get a detrimental effect, and that causes people to think that they have lost a value, to think that they're not good enough, and to quit roles. So there is a balance, dichotomy to everything, that you need to make sure there's not too much emotional attachment, there's not too much of the person recognized with what you can or cannot do in this scenario, in this challenge, in this competition. So I'm asking you to really analyze a situation where you and the people that you influence can, who knows, go to the shooting range or a certain metaphor mindset. Go demonstrate a skill in your office to find out who's at the top, who's at the second. And if I realize that I'm at the bottom and have any competitive nature to me at all, you can tell the people in those positions, hey, let's get you out of last place. Hey, let's get you out of the bottom half of the bracket. Hey, let's find a way to develop. And they can develop that path. You can assist that path. And healthy competition can really bring people up. So leaders, go out there, take an example from the SWAT team story time about how to really drive people forward on that competitive edge and improve, 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 and motivate people to become the best version of themselves.